Hi, today we are going to discuss Fisher's effect in the theories of exchange rates. First of all, what is Fisher effect? The Fisher effect, it is an economic theory created by economist Irving Fisher that describes the relationship between inflation and both real and nominal interest rates. So it's a economic theory which finds out the relationship between inflation as well as real and nominal interest rates. So the Fisher effect states that real interest rate equals the nominal interest rates minus the expected inflation rate. Hence, real interest rates fall as inflation increases, unless nominal rates increase at the same rate as inflation. So real interest rates are equal to nominal interest rates minus the inflation rate. If the inflation increases, the real interest rates fall, right? So this is the basic equation under Fisher effect. So Fisher's equation reflects that the real interest rate can be taken by subtracting the expected inflation rate from the nominal interest rate, right? So in this equation, all the provided rates are compounded, and Fisher effect can be seen each time you go to the bank. How? So you see that interest rate an investor earns on a saving account is really the nominal interest rate. That's not the real interest rate. For example, if the nominal interest rate on savings account is, let us say, 4% and expected rate of inflation is 3% in the economy, then the money in the savings account is actually growing at only 1%. So what you are earning 4% is your nominal interest rate. But if there is inflation, then you are losing value on your money, right? So the smaller the real interest rate, the longer it will take for savings deposits to grow substantially when observed from a purchasing power perspective. Hence, if in the economy inflation rates are lower, then only real interest rates are high or better. Now, the relationship between the nominal interest rates and the expected inflation is of fundamental importance in the financial markets. In his seminal book, Fisher in 1930 actually establishes the foundation of the underlying relationship between the nominal interest rate and the purchasing power of money measured by the inflation rate. The response of the nominal interest rate to the inflation rate is known as Fisher effect in the literature, and it is of paramount importance pertinent to the efficiency of financial markets and the performance of the monetary policy. The Fisher effect predicts that the real interest rate is not affected by the changes in the expected inflation rate because it results in equal changes in the nominal interest rates. Now, what does this imply? It implies that the nominal interest rate responds one for one to the expected inflation rate, and which in turn will imply that the long run real interest rate is established in the real sector of the market by means of technology as well as preference. So, the response of nominal interest rate to inflation actually is known as Fisher effect. Despite its sound theoretical foundation, the full Fisher effect has not been strongly supported empirically. So, the estimated slope coefficients in regressions of nominal interest rates on different measures of expected inflation rates are significantly different than the theoretical value of unity. So, Farmer and Gibbon has told, and Huizinga and Mishkin also found that real interest rates were negatively related to the expected inflation rates. Crowder and Wohar showed the Fisher effect is similar for taxable and non taxable interest rates in the United States, and the Fisher effect was found to usually be less than unity. According to the literature, there are several reasons for not finding a full Fisher effect. In a seminal paper by Tobin, he argues that investors shift their portfolios towards real assets if the expected inflation rate becomes remarkably high. The money illusion phenomenon is expressed as another explanation for not finding a full Fisher effect. The existence of peso problems in the market for nominal debt is additional argument put forward by Evans and Lewis. The fourth reason suggested by Fried and Howard is the existence of a liquidity premium included in financial assets that increases when expected inflation rate increases. It can also be argued that one of the reasons for not finding a full Fisher effect might be due to parameter instability. Previous studies take usually for granted that the estimated parameter values remain constant across the time. However, there are many reasons to expect that structural breaks can take place. Changes in people's preferences and their behavior, major technological advancements, financial crisis, policy alteration, institutional and organizational development can result in structural breaks. In addition, both the interest rates and the inflation rates are usually non-normal and heteroscedastic, which calls into question the application of the standard methods. What are the nominal interest rates? So, nominal interest rates, they basically reflect the financial return an individual gets when he deposits money. For example, a nominal interest rate of 10% per year means that an individual will receive an additional 10% of his deposited money in the bank. So, unlike the nominal interest rates, the real interest rates consider purchasing power in the equation. In the Fisher effect, the nominal interest rate is provided actual interest rate that reflects the monetary growth padded over time to a particular amount of money or currency owed to a financial lender. Real interest rate is the amount that mirrors the purchasing power of the borrowed money as it grows over time. Now, Fisher effect is more than just an equation. It shows how the money supply affects the nominal interest rate and inflation rate as a tandem. So it is the relationship between inflation rate, nominal interest rate, and the money supply. For example, if a change in a central bank's monetary policy would push the country's inflation rate to rise by 10 percentage points, then the nominal interest rate of the same economy would follow the suit and increase by 10 percentage points as well. Now, in this light, it may be assumed that a change in the money supply will not affect the real interest rate. It will, however, directly reflect changes in the nominal interest rate. So, there would be a direct effect of the monetary policy, hence the money supply, which is going to increase the inflation rate. And the moment the inflation rate increases, the real interest rate goes down. Now we come to what is international Fisher effect. So this international Fisher effect states that the difference between the nominal interest rates in two countries is directly proportional to the changes in the exchange rate of their currencies at any given time. So again, it is the difference in the nominal interest rates between two countries, right, and is directly proportional to the changes in exchange rate of their currencies. So Irving Fisher, he was a US economist who came up with this theory. The international Fisher effect is based on current and future nominal interest rates, and it is used to predict spot and future currency movements. So the international Fisher effect is in contrast to other methods that use pure inflation to try to predict and understand movements in the exchange rate. So the Fisher effect actually carves out a relationship between real rates, interest rates, nominal interest rates, and inflation and money supply, of course. But the international Fisher effect actually carves out a relationship between the nominal interest rates and the currency exchange rate. So in international business, we are actually more interested in international Fisher effect, which would eventually give us the exchange rate. How the international Fisher effect was conceptualized. So the international Fisher effect theory was recognized on the basis that interest rates are independent of other monetary variables and that they provide a strong indication of how the currency of a specific country is performing. According to Fisher, changes in inflation do not impact real interest rates, since the real interest rate is simply the nominal rate minus the inflation. The theory assumes that a country with lower interest rates will see lower levels of inflation, which will translate to an increase in the real value of the country's currency in comparison to another country's currency. When interest rates are high, there will be higher levels of inflation, which will result in the depreciation of the country's currency. So, according to this theory, just to revise, it assumes that if a country has lower interest rates, then it has lower inflation rate and their value of currency is better than the other countries' currencies. So, but when the interest rates will increase, so the inflation will also increase and then the country's currency would be depreciated. Now, how to calculate Fisher effect? We can see this formula where E is the percentage change in the exchange rate of country's currency. I1 is country A's interest rate and I2 is country B's interest rate. So we can see interest rate minus interest rate 2 divided by 1 plus interest rate 2 is equal to interest rate 1, interest rate 2. So this is how we are going to calculate the international Fisher effect. We can take an example here just to have a clarity. So let's take this example of two currencies, the United States dollar and the Canadian dollar. So the United States dollar to Canadian dollar is spot exchange rate, which is 130. And the interest rate on United States is 5%. And in Canada it is 6%. So the country with lower interest rate is United States. And its currency would be better off. So based on the international Fisher effect assumption, the country with a higher interest rate, that is Canada, will see a higher inflation rate and will experience a depreciation of its currency. So the future spot rate is calculated by taking the spot rate and multiplying it by the ratio of foreign interest rate to domestic interest rate. So future spot rate would be equal to your current spot rate. What is the current spot rate? What we found out, what we mentioned, it is spot exchange rate is 1.30. So 1.3 multiplied by the interest in the foreign currency. So it is 1.05 and interest in the domestic country, that is 1.06. Hence, we have got the future spot rate as 1.312. Now, given the future spot rate, the international Fisher effect assumes that the Canadian dollar will depreciate against US dollar. $1 US will be exchanged for 1.312 Canadian dollars, up from the original rate. So right now the rate is 1.30, and because of the higher interest rates there would be higher inflation, and hence the Canadian dollar will depreciate, and from $1 you would be able to buy 1.312 Canadian dollars rather than 1.30. On one hand, investors will receive a lower interest rate on US dollar, but on the other hand, they will gain from an increase in the value of US currency. Now, for the international Fisher effect to work, there are certain assumptions that must be in place. The very first one is that there should be free flow of capital between countries. So there is no limitation to the capital that can be exchanged between the countries. Then second assumption is that the integration of capital markets should be there. So there should not be any extra tariffs or extra charges or taxes between the capital markets. So there has to be a free flow of capital markets as well. And the lack of control on the currency for trade purposes. So there should not be any control on the currency of the two countries for the trade purposes, and hence if these assumptions are satisfied, then our international Fisher effect would hold true, as there would be increase in interest rate, there would be increase in inflation rate, there would be increase in money supply, and that would in turn depreciate the domestic currency. So what is the relevance of the international Fisher effect? In the short term, the international Fisher effect is seen as an unreliable variable of estimating the price movements of a currency due to the existence of other factors that affect exchange rates. Now, the factors also exert an effect on the prediction of nominal interest rates and inflation. But what will happen in the long run? So, the international Fisher effect is viewed as more reliable variable to determine the effect of changes in nominal interest rates on shifts in exchange rates. So basically, in short term, international Fisher effect is a little unreliable because of the price movements. You cannot see the impact of the price movements on the exchange rate or the depreciation of the currency, which becomes very obvious in the long term, and hence international Fisher effect can be more easily observed in the long run. Now, if we see Fisher effect versus international Fisher effect, so the Fisher effect describes the relationship between interest rates and the rate of inflation. It proposes that the nominal interest rate in a country is equal to the real interest rate plus the inflation rate, which means that the real interest rate is equal to the nominal rate of interest minus the rate of inflation. So therefore, any increase in the rate of inflation will result in a proportional increase in nominal interest rate where the real interest rate is constant. For example, assume that the real interest rate is 5.5% and the rate of inflation changes from 2.5% to 3.5%. So the nominal interest rate is calculated as nominal interest rate is equal to 1 plus 0.055 plus 1 plus 0.025. So that is the interest rate minus 1 gives me 0.081. So nominal interest rate is 8.1%. Now, therefore, the nominal interest rate would have increased from 8.1% when the inflation was 2.5% to 9.2% when the rate is 3.5%. So nominal interest rate when the interest rates have rate of inflation has increased from 1.025 to 1.035. What happens to the nominal interest rate? It increases. As we have seen, there is an increase in inflation has given us an increase in the nominal interest rate as well. Now, what is international Fisher effect? It expands Fisher effect theory by suggesting that the estimated appreciation or depreciation of two countries' currencies is proportional to the difference in their nominal interest rate. Now, for example, if the nominal interest rate in United States is greater than that of United Kingdom, the former's currency value should fall by the interest rate differential. Now, what are the applications of international Fisher effect? The first one is monetary policy. So, the central bank in an economy is often tasked with keeping inflation in a tight range. We don't want prevailing inflation in the economy, right? So the practice is to prevent the economy from overheating and inflation spiraling upwards in the times of expansion. It is also important to have a small amount of inflation to prevent a deflation spiral, which pushes an economy into depression in times of recession. So the main tool available to most central banks is their ability to set the nominal interest rate. They achieve this through many mechanisms like open market operations, changing reserve ratios, etc. Given a fixed interest rate, we can see that an increase in the nominal interest rate will bring down inflation expectations and prevent overheating. Similarly, a decrease in the nominal interest rate can increase inflation expectations and spur more investment, thereby avoiding a deflation spiral. The following figure illustrates how monetary policy acts through the Fisher effect. So, what happens? The nominal interest rates, first of all, decreases. As the nominal interest rates will decrease, the inflation will increase. This would increase the output. What will happen when nominal interest rate increase? The inflation will decrease, and with the decrease in inflation, the output would also contract and it would also decrease. This is how the Fisher effect works with monetary policy. Now, the second point or second application is measuring portfolio returns. So, one of the major objectives of investing is to generate enough returns to outspace inflation. Yes. So, what we do, we invest because we do not want our money to get depreciated by inflation. Now, it is necessary because if the returns are lower than inflation, the purchasing power of the total wealth of the investor will be lower than when they started investing. For example, an investment in the sovereign debt of a country is considered risk-free and offers a yield of 2% over 1 year. Assume that the inflation in that country is 3% per year and a business needs to purchase goods that are worth $100 today. Now they invest their cash in government debt, which means that they get $102 in a year. Since the inflation rate was 3%, the goods are now worth $103. Hence, there is a shortfall of $1 when the business needs to make the purchase. The example above illustrates an important point that ignoring the impact of inflation can create liquidity issues in the future. The Fisher effect is important because it helps the investor calculate the real rate of return on their investment. The Fisher equation can also be used to determine the required nominal rate of return that will help the investor achieve their goals. Now, next is currency markets. In currency markets, the Fisher effect is called the international Fisher effect. It describes the relationship between the nominal interest rates in two countries and the spot exchange rate for their currencies. Hence, given the nominal interest rates in the two countries and the spot exchange rate today, we can calculate the future spot rate, which we have just done in the previous slides. Now, if we want to use the formula to calculate future spot rate, we have already calculated it, and it is evident from the equation that if the domestic rate is lower than the foreign rate, the domestic currency is expected to depreciate relative to the foreign currency. It is the international Fisher effect. Now, next application is the link between inflation and nominal interest rates. So, one implication of Fisher effect is that nominal interest rates tend to mirror inflation, making monetary policy neutral. For example, let's say if the central bank increased money supply and the expected inflation rose from 4 to 7%. Then to maintain a stable economy, the central bank would raise interest rates from 6 to 9%. If nominal rates increase at the same rate as inflation, the real net effect has little impact. Now, what is the evidence of Fisher effect? As we have discussed up till now, the Fisher effect is important in economic policy making as it applies to monetary policy. As a result, there are many empirical studies conducted by economists who try to determine if the Fisher effect exists and to measure it. Mishkin in 1991 and 95, a paper written by Frederick Mishkin of Princeton University found the Fisher effect exists in the long term but in the short term. So the paper found there was no relationship between inflation and nominal interest rates. Another paper by the same author conducts an empirical analysis of Fisher effect in Australia and comes to the same conclusion. Jaffe and Mandlekar in 1976 studied the relationship between inflation and returns on risky assets. More specifically, they studied the relationship between stock market returns and inflation. So most studies of Fisher effect study the relationship between the risk-free rate and inflation. This study found no evidence for the existence of Fisher effect in stock market returns. In fact, it found that increased inflation expectation is negatively correlated with market returns. So the finding runs counter the relationship described by the Fisher effect. Uribe 2018. One of the more recent investigations into the Fisher effect finds that it holds true for temporary changes in the nominal interest rate, but in case of permanent increase in the nominal interest rate, the opposite holds true and an increase in the nominal rates leads to inflation. What are the limitations of Fisher effect? The first is elasticity of demand to interest rates. In periods of confidence and rising asset prices, high real interest rates may be ineffective in reducing demand. Therefore, in some circumstances, central banks may need to increase the real interest rates to have an effect. The second is breakdown between inflation and nominal interest rates. So up to 2008, real interest rates positive plus minus plus 2%. After 2009, real interest rates became negative. Liquidity trap. In a liquidity trap, reducing nominal interest rates can have no effect on boosting spending. Lower interest rates don't encourage investment because the economic climate discourages investment and spending. The last limitation is that the breakdown between base rates and the actual bank rates. In some circumstances, there is a breakdown between base rates set by central bank and the actual interest rate set by the bank. These are the references. Thank you for listening.